guys, welcome back to my channel. I hope you're doing well. Today I have a very interesting video for you guys. At least I think it's very interesting, and it's to compare various versions or the evolution of various versions of Kelly bag. So you guys know that I have been buying and selling, I guess, a lot of vintage Hermes Birkin Kelly bag. And what I've noticed is Birkin hasn't really changed much over time. Most of the Birkin from vintage version to now is essentially the same thing. So if it's a very good, well-preserved condition Birkin bag, if you go out there, there's almost no way of knowing what year it's actually from, especially with a classic color. Which is another reason why a lot of people should consider vintage bag, because at the end of the day, they are much more cost effective, a lot more affordable, and you could basically, buying something that's essentially the same thing as you just bought it out from the store. So, of course, we all know the game that Hermes plays. So even a very good, decent vintage condition Birkin bag might be sold close to retail or even over retail, unless it's a larger size. So a Birkin 35, you could actually get it for a much cheaper price, under retail price, if you're going with a vintage bag. So now for today's video, I happen to have three beautiful Kelly bag with me here that I just unboxed, to be honest. And they are, and including the one that I had for some time now. And I think it's very interesting because they represent different era of Birkin bags. And I want to share with you guys what are some of the detailed changes over time for these, sorry, did I say Birkin? I mean Kelly bags. So let's maybe start with the oldest version of Kelly bag, which would be this one here. So this one is from 1988, and it's in such amazing condition. Like, this is in the box calf leather, and it's in the indigo color, so it does look like black in most lighting. If you go under really bright lighting, you can see very hint of blue, but generally speaking, it's looking more like black. The handle stays upright really nicely, and the gold hardware on the vintage bags are just so amazing. Like, same thing with my vintage bag. I don't know what they do with these hardwares, but it's like almost looking like new, very little scratch on them, and it just absolutely in perfect condition for the age of the bag. And this bag, so I can show you guys, this is the Kelly 32. And it's actually really small. Like, not small, but it's really not a massive size bag, and it's so light. I just think it's such a perfect everyday bag for someone who wants a neutral, stylish kind of handbag that goes with everything. It's just so perfect. Anyways, all that to say is this bag here, as you can see, has no strap. So I don't know if you guys are always aware, because we all know that, the main difference between Kelly and Birkin bag is the fact that Kelly bag has a strap, but it's not always true, because the older original models actually don't have a strap. So anything before, I believe 1990, it's like a hit and miss. There was a transition phase where some of the bags start to have some straps and a lot of them still don't. And so that's one of the main difference. So the older bags don't come with a strap, like original strap attached. And another main difference is the feet. So the feet are actually a lot shorter compared to the later versions. So if you look at slightly newer version, the feet are actually longer, like, the size of the feet, which make the bag stand slightly taller, so it doesn't touch any of the surfaces. So that's actually another main difference. So I will actually do like compare between this one, and then you guys that's easier comparison. So this one is from 1990, and it's my very first Hermes bag. Like, that's a real Hermes bag, I think. Well, actually, it's my very first Kelly bag, but I did have other other Hermes bag in the past. This is actually also a size 32, but it actually kind of looks slightly larger in comparison, I think, just because of the color. Black color always appears to be slightly smaller, I think. So this version here, again, I'll do some watch-ons. So this one here does come with a original strap, and the clasp is the original kind of very vintage looking clasp, which I find it really cool. And like I said, the other difference would be the feet are slightly longer or taller, but everything else, you know, it's basically exact one-on-one comparison to this older version. So it's the added strap and the changing feet. Now, if you compare this vintage version to the more modern version here, which we have this beautiful Kelly's 35 in the Tibet Camel color. It's my first time seeing this color. It's absolutely stunning. It's, you know, very similar to your trench color or your biscuit color. This is in the Clemence leather, so it's kind of very, it gets easy to be slouchy and it's a bit very soft, but I love how it shows. And again, hardware on this is absolutely stunning. The main difference, and I think it's pretty easy, it's a very easy way to tell kind of how old the Kelly bag is, it's looking at the D-rings, right? So if your Kelly bag has this extra D-ring for design for your strap, that means it's after the 2000 mark, generally speaking. That's when the newly added D-ring design was added, which makes a lot of sense because if you're adding a strap to your bag, obviously it doesn't make sense when it's being held on to the same ring that's attached to the handlebar itself. Now with Kelly bag, because of the way it's designed, and if you pack your bag really heavy, and if you kind of pull on the bag and twist the bag, oftentimes there will be some cuts and damages at the base of the handle, which is kind of a common problem with Kelly bags, I would say. So adding this D-ring is definitely, how do you say, essential change to the design of the bag. And obviously the feet are similar to this version as well. The other thing I couldn't show you guys, unfortunately, because the bag I have here doesn't come with a strap, is the clasp of the straps. It's the modern version. It's the same version that you can see for a lot of Evelyn bags. They're very kind of typical clasps for Hermes bags. You can look into those. But essentially, those are the main differences. So I think, you know, if you're looking for a bag that, again, like people can't really tell whether it's from the retail recently or if it's vintage, then you pretty much have to go with a bag that has a D-ring on the side to be looking close enough to like a modern version compared to the older one. As you can see, there's no D-ring to it. And but other than this very minor detail, everything else pretty much is the same. So in this case, I mean, another way to hide it is obviously to add a twirly to it, then that way it's a little bit more hidden. But regardless, those are the key differences between the various versions of Kelly bag, and I hope you find somewhat helpful if you're hunting for your vintage Kelly bag as well. Thank you so much, and I'll talk to you soon. Bye.